There are some amazing places in Meghalaya that are still unknown. The pleasant weather all year round, accompanied by blue skies and green hills, attracts many visitors from all over the country to visit the many destinations in the Khasi Hills. It's a bright and sunny day when we started our journey to a remote village in southwest Khasi Hills. The road takes us across a number of villages including Maungap, Mauflang, Mausenram, Plangwanbroy, and some lovely open spaces all along the way. We are traveling to Umpung village, close to the border of Bangladesh, just next to the Omni river. As we descend further south, the view opens up to a vast expanse of a lush green mountain range in the foreground, bordering the plains of Bangladesh, and a horizon in the background. We stop for some time to admire the scenery all around us. It is seldom that one gets such a clear view of the area because this part of the country receives the heaviest rainfall in the world and is for most part of the year covered in clouds and mist. It's a good day for traveling, and we continue our journey making our way across some of the most narrow and winding roads in Meghalaya. The ride becomes a bit bumpy as we drive past Trongpleng village and move further down towards our destination. Again, we were lured to halt for a few minutes, this time stopped by the sight of a waterfall on the opposite slope of the mountain, quite some distance away. We moved on and soon crossed Nongtamai village, and a little further down the road made a left turn towards Maupdai, an emerging ecotourism destination better known for its single attraction, a strangler fig tree. We are in Maupdai village, and this is a beautiful place because you can see all around me these beautiful courtyards with ornamental plants. But we are going to this village for one reason, and that reason is we'll show you one of the landmarks. It's a massive giant fig tree. Come with me. The tree is a short distance away from the village, located on a hill. There is a proper footpath along the way, surrounded by a lush green forest. So we are on this path that goes to the fig tree, the famous fig tree of Maupdai. And as I walk along this path, I'm surrounded by bay leaf trees, and you can scent the aroma, the smell of this bay leaf, it's a really immersive experience, and very seldom you'll get through to a place like this with so much scented leaves all around you. One of the locals joined us on our way to the fig tree. It's a short climb along a trail that offered a bird's eye view of Maupdai village and the surrounding area. The one thing that captures our attention is the greenery that dominates the landscape all around. It is very soothing for the eyes, and a certain feeling of wellness overcomes all of us by the verdant surrounding. The strangler fig tree is a massive organism that has put Maupdai on the tourism map.
Well, I'm at the base of this massive ficus fig tree, and I'm going to try to climb up this tree.
Here, the strangler fig uses the host tree to support its growth. The host tree has died, and all that remains is the hollow inside, which allows us to climb through the hollow to the top and get a clear view of the landscape below.
This is something which is there's always a first time for me doing things like this.
It's a different experience climbing up the hole, although there is little risk involved. One needs to be flexible and lean enough to fit inside the tree and then start climbing to the top.
Can go on and on and on, but we do not have the gear to rappel down. So I'm just going to end it here.
Recently, a group of adventure seekers have introduced rappelling from the top to the base of the tree. The structure of the tree inside looks like a spiral ladder. The staircase like structure is sturdy and solid, and it's quite safe climbing it, although some flexibility and practice is required in climbing up and down the long, narrow, vertical tunnel inside the Mauptai strangler fig tree.
You have to have the skills of a mountain goat with the hands of a gibbon. There's a hulok gibbon.
We move southwards from Mauptai across a few more villages besides the road, and after some time take a right at the junction where a signboard indicates the way to Ranikor. We are just a few minutes from Umpung village. There is no habitation along the way until we reach the bridge spanning across the Omni river. The village lies at the foothills on the western side of the Omni river. The view from a drone camera uncovers a beautiful patch of greenery and turquoise blue waters. Apparently, it's the bridge and the river that may be termed as the defining landmarks of Umpung village. It's a popular fishing spot with a number of anglers scattered upstream and downstream.
It's a beautiful day and I'm in Umpung village. To my right is the Omni Umpung river. What a beautiful location. Come with me as we explore Umpung village.
The village Umpung is more than 100 years old, established sometime in 1918 according to the accounts of the elders of the village. It is a small self-sustainable community basically dependent on areca nut betel leaf cultivation. There are around 125 households that are close together and concentrated just next to the road. The village territory, however, spreads out to approximately 15 square kilometers of lush green hill and plain country. Most of the houses are sturdy looking concrete structures. In a way, the well-maintained houses also indicate that the village people are quite well-to-do. The village falls under the Maharam's aimship and the Ranikor civil subdivision of Southwest Khasi Hills district. The villagers generally are friendly and hospitable, making us feel at home as best as they can. They took us around their homes and shared with us their experiences and aspirations for the well-being of the locals and the next generation.
Kini ke area ke jungi kamtam ne hampung rukam bala kumno ini yo ya ka health center shop center ene ka PHC ada ngela kenang ba ngin kam yo ya gidawai kam jan ada ngihiar nang ne seren koru sniu palat nkiu silong le ba thai lupa suwa bangun mut ban le silong ne semosram na su thai lupa na ko surak lada don wisdom ngisu mare abet nang ne sha balat ne sha potkro mugidon gitu ke badi ke farmasi don gitu ke besu ai dawai su ai gum to guna de ke doktor sarkar ngi hang ne snong pung ka babun ka ba kino snong gide ke norap nyup san persen gide norap nang ta gidon ru ki ba kino khai pateng ki blek di ki kwai ki tempeu ki jing ki mar rap segi yeu te ki mar ba kambun ki bangi rap kolong kwai tempong suat tepat kini giwe ki jai so bo bunjai ki don.
The village is 75% farmers and cultivators, men and women who invest their time and energy in the land. They are conservationists, putting a very high value on the preservation of the environment and coexisting with the flora and fauna of the land in which they live. To protect the ecosystem, the stakeholders initiated a collective action comprising of 22 villages all along the Omni River in 2013, which they named Friends of the Omni River. It is a conservation effort that attempts to preserve the different species of fish and other aquatic life in the Omni River. The same group are also linking this conservation with ecotourism to boost the economy of the village and the surrounding area.
Habang apay sa kinikitan yung kanikawa Omni kalong babun kibriw kila suyele kumar ha kaba ban penduk jaj ikiduk ha da kaba tangbom kaba wi dawai kaba pen abjar te dena kata kadao ha ka jing yo ka jonga kalong ba nga ipang met siya balada ngidang siya iya ke bakum kini kalong ba kiduk ha siya kani katan jo wa Omni kinsa dujaj hadin pan endang ilaseng ya kani ka friend of Omni ribar kalong kisnong ke ba ya senrop lang kila don ko ba arpo asno diladang iyo kem ya gitu gibriu ki ba tangbom ki ba wi ikidawai ni su ai be siya kadisi siya po makurwat kadisi pade ka su ai order be siya po ki tanat yo gini ki pulis ban pa kem itu gibriu ki ba yele persaya kata.
The villagers are kind and they greet us with coconut juice, tea and tapioca. It was a pleasant interaction with them as they talked about their land and the natural wealth. They are positive about life and are keen to learn more about the tourism trade as they see this as an important source of income and its potential to provide a means of livelihood to the youth of the village. Umpung has a lot of potential as a tourism destination. The villagers are friendly and open to the idea of accepting visitors and embracing tourism. They welcome and greet us with their rustic hospitality, providing us information about the various places nearby that can be made into adventure tourism destinations. After the brief interaction, we moved to the banks of the Omni River. It's a narrow road leading to an off-road track that takes us to the river campsite. The Sahiba ecotourism campsite on the banks of the river was started by a local entrepreneur providing adventure tourism enthusiasts with activities like camping, rafting, kayaking, snorkeling, and trekking.
Came here once just for angling, and suddenly you find golden mahir exists here and other species of mahir. Saw that people are using all types of fishing methods which is destructive and polluting the river and killing mostly all the species of fish that they can get a hand on. So I told myself, like, why not do something here and leave everything back, come back here and start something with researching to find out how many species of fishes and what are the do and don'ts. So even though if I'm from Shillong, I came back here last 14 years back, then start this conservation method that we have locally as much as we could and can, but on our own it's very difficult. We need the villages. So through this village we approach the district authority that we need to do a conservation because many species in the next future will be extinct. We acquired this land through our ancestral property. So our venture is quite different. We need exclusive guests to be here because as you've seen it, we are much more eco-friendly than other resorts. We are not too much into the posh business, but we are into something that we call be there with the nature and live in the nature. So we have those type of people coming from abroad, especially from France, Germany and the UK. And especially for kayaking, we have here a very nice scene of the river Omni, whereby we can kayak not less than 30 kilometers downstream.
The tents and a few hut-like structures that included the kitchen, restroom and a shelter for anglers were located on a flat piece of grassy meadow amidst verdant forests, hills and close to the river Omni. It is an ideal location for an adventure sports camp with a lot to offer for tourists and environmentalists.
We are just next to the river Omni in Umpung, and we have with us a lot of excitement around. A lot of people are gathered here to see this young boy swim in this river. The only thing is, this young boy is blind, and it just shows that people who live by the river, next to the river, are capable swimmers, whether they can see or whether they're blind.
Before lunch, we were invited to a cultural dance performed by the villagers of neighboring Nongna village, who are trying to revive their traditional dances. There were two dances. One was the Shat Nongrep, or the farmer cultivators dance, and the other was the Shat or Pandeng. It was a genuine attempt by the locals to remember the culture of their forefathers who were farmers and to reenact their ancestors' lives through song and dance. Dressed in the traditional attire and wearing ornaments of their ancestors, the men and women reenacted the farmers in the fields, while a section of the artists beat the traditional drum and sing a song about their heritage and culture. The dance is a simple one, but a lot of effort, time and energy has been spent to recreate this traditional music and dance.
So we are with the Nongna Art and Cultural Troupe who have just performed, and this is a serious bit to revive the traditions of the people working in the fields. What we saw particularly was the way they harvest the tapioca, or what they call pandeng, in their villages. It's a very serious attempt in a place where almost 100% are all Christians.
The river Omni is a unique ecosystem and hotspot of freshwater fish biodiversity, home to some 65 species of fish. There are golden, black, white barb mahseers, the goonj, bilawal, magur of the catfish family, the gara or kakulai, khatin, khasao, khayong, spiked eel or tinreo, khatinkra, dojay, dobertut, wild silver carp, khalaso, and many more species of fish that thrive in the Omni River near Umpung. The campsite is amidst a pristine environment, still unpolluted and perfect for ecotourism and aquatic sports like rafting, kayaking, angling, and swimming. The facilities are basic, but safety precautions are in place. The season for angling is from June to October. After the rains, during the winter is the best time for trekking. Kayaking and rafting will require professional guidance during the rainy season, but in winter, when the water is low, leisure rafting and kayaking for short distances are activities that are conducted by the ecotourism camp. Umpung as a tourism destination will depend much on the stewardship of the local stakeholders. The collective initiative to start the Friends of the Omni River is a positive step in ecotourism. Apparently, the village leadership understands the importance of conservation of their rivers and forests, and this is the first small step towards a sustainable tourism model. Other factors like their hospitality and not fearing the outside visitors and tourists point to the fact that Umpung is ready for receiving guests. However, the success of their ecotourism initiative will depend on the overall social and political situation, and most importantly, on responsible visitors who are lovers of nature. Our visit and experience at Umpung was as unexpected as the feast which we were going to get a taste of. The traditional food prepared for us was one of the best that I have ever tasted.
So the sun has set, but we have here a feast being prepared by our hosts from Umpung village. What we have here is this herb which you can chew. It's called hur klap. So this food has been prepared especially for us, and this is another item which is fish, local fish from the river Omni, which is wrapped in this banana leaf and fried, and this is what you get. It looks delicious. This is a speciality. I've never seen anything like this before. This is rice cooked with snails, and I believe this is a real good dish. This is the flower of the banana, which is made into a salad. This is also another version of the flower of the banana, which is made into kind of meatballs, though no meat is added here. This is a fish salad, local fish again. Green salad, chicken made in the local style. This is another dish which I've never seen before. This is rice with tapioca. And to wash all this food, you need a good drink. This is the rice beer, locally made. This is a feast for people who have not seen this culture. And we are all going to eat in this plate, elongated plate called the Dop Y. This is known all over the Khasi Hills and Jaintia Hills. And what better way to end a day in the village than with this kind of food. Until we meet again in another village, Kublai.